Hello, and welcome back to Cooking with Pants On. Today we are cooking with pants on. We're making Mother's Day pie. It is a recipe I found on a website that has all recipes for pies for Mother's Day. And so, here we go. The first thing the directions say to do is to turn the stove to 325. I don't see 325, but there's 300 and 350, so we'll just try to go between them. This recipe will probably take you longer because I already have everything set out, but here we go. It calls for 6 tablespoons of melted butter, but since I am about the size of 4 mothers, we will be using 3 sticks. I have it melted in here already, to which we will add 4 cups of sugar. We're going to mix that around a little bit, mix it up all with our butter. The recipe says to put the sugar in first, but every time I do, I get clumps in my butter, and that's not good. So, as you can see, if you have a big belly, you can use it to hold the bowl, so the bowl doesn't move around as much while you're filming with one hand. It's good enough for now. Now, we will add 2 tablespoons of flour. It's actually a half a cup because there are 16 tablespoons in a cup, so we want half of that. While we have our flour there, instead of mixing it right away, it will be hard if we do. So we're going to add our vanilla, except I don't have vanilla, so we will be using honey instead. I like honey, so let's put another spoonful. Yum. Okay, now we need 4 cans of evaporated milk. This is not sweetened condensed milk like we used for the caramel. We will just dump all of these in here. And you have to be careful because sometimes the lid falls in, and when it does, you don't want to dump it into your mixture. So you put a finger there to make sure the lid does not come out. Now we will mix this up really well. Once you have that mixed up very well, you will need 12 eggs. Once you have your eggs in the bowl, go ahead and mix them up. It says to add them one at a time, but that sounds hard to do while holding your phone. Plus, do we ever really follow directions all the way? I don't. Now that you have your eggs basically mixed up, it's time to dump them into the other mixture. If you spill anything on the ground, it's okay if you have dogs because they will clean it up for you. Once you have your eggs all mixed up, it's time to add the coconut. Dump all the coconut. Then mix the coconut in. This would be easier with an electric mixer, but, well, it would be loud and annoying for this video, so I won't use that today. That looks like some yummy goodness, doesn't it? Now, the next thing we want to do is just check our recipe to make sure we didn't miss anything. Oh no, there's salt. It's always good to double check your recipe. It says 1/4 tablespoon. And times 4, we'll call that good. We'll give it one more mix. Next, our instructions say to grease and flour a 9-inch pie pan. But since we're making 4, we will cook like this. Use this big pan. So we'll grease and we'll put some flour in there. It's important not to use too much flour. So just shake it around. Get the flour all over the edges so it doesn't stick. If you have anything left, you don't want to pour it back into your flour thing. So you can either put it in the trash like I'm going to, or if you're lucky enough to have a partner, you can throw it at them, preferably after baking, because antiques are old and full of dust, and your partner will be too if you're mean-spirited. Now I almost spilled the bucket, so I dropped the phone, and here we are now. Our recipe actually made 2 dishes full because I didn't want to overfill them. So we will put it in the oven now. Let's start with this one. We'll stick them in to the oven. Now we will cook them for 35 to 40 minutes. And since they're 2 layers, I'll probably switch them halfway through and add 5 to 10 minutes, just until I believe they're done. The longer you cook, the better you'll be at knowing these things. See you soon. Okay, as you can see, it's been about 55 minutes, and these are both done. I had to leave one in longer because the top was not quite as done. But they seem fine. They are a little jiggly, but they're like a pudding, so they will set up more as they cool. We will let them rest for about, probably 2 hours until they cool down. Then we'll stick them in the fridge overnight, covered so they don't dry out. Then we'll cut into squares, top with a little bit of Cool Whip, and enjoy. And that's how we make Mother's Day pie. Hope yours turns out as good as mine does. It smells delicious.